I am damn excited. Chiefs and Direwolves, upset number 2 of the day, about to happen right now. Are you ready? Because Kanga taking down the undefeated team, the only one remaining in the LCO for Split 1 of 2022. And now, Chiefs, they've got 1L on the board, and they're about to have a second skimmy.
I don't really. I mean, okay, I feel like Liv to sit into the future. He's predicted everything. Where's the promo content from these boys? Because every time we get them on, it's them flaming their own team and then bad things seem to happen. So I'd imagine they've moved into a new gaming house. They're keeping it to themselves side by side. But this team really, when they came into the start of Split 1, sit the gold center right there, were just gapping all over the show. A few hiccups along the way. A few times they've been really tested against some of these other very strong sides. But it did look like business as usual in this matchup here, because they were finding their moments to try and shine. Big talking point was how Arthur and Balkan would square up, given their major differences in the game. But above all else, Tapoon said, yes, I can be an absolute monster. Continue to gank me. I'm 0-7. I'm literally worth nothing. Just let the other 4 members of my team piggyback this game all the way to the victory screen. That's exactly what they did.
And then kept it heated on Twitter as well. Of course, Tapoon saying top is just like an irrelevant role.
Yep.
And it has absolutely no weight in the game, so his job, useless. And look, he's been a very, very strong import, but unfortunately, he's gone. He's out. So we'll never see him again. Now, that's a lie. That's a lie, guys. I was just joking. Of course, we do have a second team in the server. The team that, of course, is going to be serving this upset, which unfortunately you can't order all the time. Now, of course, Kyosei's in mid, Frost and Bulldog. They got like something going in the bottom lane. They're still trying to figure out what's going on. Goodo in the jungle's been all right, and Zoranus up top has, left something to be desired, but still had a few good games here and there, Rusty. Now, tell me what they have to do to win today.
Yeah, listen, the drafting from Direwolves in the last game that we saw was... I couldn't think of a word other than inspired. It wasn't good. They played the Soraka mid. It was inspired because Cloud9 exists over in North America, right?
Okay.
So Soraka mid lane, and then they went for the Vayne top lane when Sion was already picked. And Gwen is known as a counter instead of putting a Xin Zhao or something like that in the jungle. I think they had so many options in their draft, and they unfortunately managed to roll a 1 in what they ended up with. Wasn't good. And so they kind of lost. Vayne being 2 CS ahead 25 minutes in a Sion matchup is probably not a winning situation, Mac. I think that's fair to say when you draft that specifically to win your lane. So I'd like to see them change up their draft back to something that just makes more sense, right? That has a cohesive win condition in it. And I think we'll see a different Direwolves again.
What about you, Skimmy? Do you think Direwolves have what it takes to take the cake, give another L to the big Chiefs?
I think it's possible. I feel like you can never discount this team because they're probably the most volatile in terms of what they will draft. I feel like they're the ones that will express the most creativity in their drafts. That last game being the biggest proof if you ever needed it, right? It won't always work, but they are willing to take those risks. And I think... obviously, it's going to go in part much to what, the coach's input is, the players themselves, but also it's going to throw a lot of teams off, right? If they're not experiencing that in their own scrim practices and so on. So if there's ever a team that you maybe not take as lightly as you should do, then, you need to be prepared. You need to be prepared.
Rusty's just playing with the sun outside.
What's happening?
I'm watching.
He's just having a good time. Now, we do have Kitty as well. I believe, Kitty, you've copped an L in your time. So do you want to tell me how Chiefs are going to cop the L today?
Chiefs are gonna cop the L? Well, we did see just a massive upset from that previous game. So I know we're all waiting for the results, and someone else who is eager to know the results is Draku. Hey Draku! Hi. How's the new house? It looks amazing from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's really good. Wait, can I move the camera? Look, you can have a mini house tour. that's the house, and this is Quinn low.
Is that a pool table on the side?
Oh, it's in the other room actually. It's in the other room.
Well, I was gonna ask. My second question was, will we ever get a house tour on Twitter? But you kind of just showed us a little bit of the house.
Oh, alright. That was a sneak peek, but I think there will be a house tour in like 4 weeks' time, but not right now. So.
Who's gonna be the one talking with the camera?
Probably everyone, I think. But maybe me. I think it'll be really funny if I do it. So.
You should definitely do it. Well, speaking about last week's game, to be exact. You guys found huge success with the Zillion mid. You guys are kind of playing a similar format to Legacy 2020. Are you guys taking inspiration or just sticking to a plan that still works?
Yeah, we're definitely taking inspiration from Legacy 2020. As you can see, the roster is literally the same thing, but with an upgrade on jungle and support Kappa.
Definitely an upgrade. I am excited to see what you guys have installed. But Draku, it is Valentine's today, and I've prepared a special segment where I gave you a little head warning, but hopefully you prepared for it. So, Draku, give us your best pickup line for a League of Legends player.
Best pickup line for League of Legends players. Are you a VOD? Because I can review you for hours. That was really cringe.
Not cringe at all, come on, gotta say it with some confidence. But as a pro player, I know you love a VOD reviewing, and hopefully you do some more VOD reviewing for tonight. Well, good luck in your match, Draku, and best of luck.
Bye.
Bye.
Not bad.
That wasn't terrible. I was expecting something maybe more X-rated, but it didn't
Sure.
happen. So I'm proud of Draku rather for keeping it G, keeping it nice and G-rated. So unexpected, but of course, let's have a look at the predictions before we jump on into the game. I feel like everything here is expected, right?
Yeah, down to your picking the Direwolves here. But at this stage, congratulations, Direwolves, on your win.
Yeah.
Happening. No, like this is the thing, right? It's Valentine's Day, so rather than make everything just be normal, everyone be happy, they're going to make everyone completely upset by, writing the script that it's an absolute tragedy. So we're all about love, we're all about having a good time here on Valentine's Day, but unfortunately, half of the players in the league are not going to be having a good time. So why can't it be the ones that are usually
Maybe,
the winners?
Mac. Maybe. Let's open up the old Illuminati toolbox for a second and say maybe the teams that have the gaming houses, because there is so much love between them,
Yeah.
they're at a significant disadvantage. The piece have lost. Maybe now Chief will lose. Maybe then Pensinet will lose. The possibilities are endless, Mac.
Very
It
true.
could go
Now,
onwards.
Kitty, you didn't get to have your say in the matchup, so anything you want to say between this one, Direwolves and Kicks?
Well, from what Skimmy just said, it seems like that gaming houses put people at a disadvantage now, so I actually think maybe Dials could win, Mac ghostwriting the script for LCO perhaps, but we'll see what happens.
They really have to stop giving me the scripts to write because it's
True.
kind of getting repetitive at this point. We're getting too many upsets, too many crazy things happening. I don't know, there's just so much entertainment here in the LCO. I don't know how you guys in chat ever complain about anything. Now, we did get to see a couple of those champs that we highlighted. The Riven coming through as well as the Ahri with those changes in this patch. Do you think we're going to see Ahri slipping through again like Kyosei? We know that he may be fond of that one, Rusty.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone's going to pick it blind again first, it would be Kyosei. What I do know with Kyosei, though, is that he has an ongoing battle with Ahri, where he'll say to me, I'm not playing Ahri anymore. And then you'll look at his match history, and it was 12 games in a row of Ahri. So we'll see.
What a
we'll
liar.
see. We don't
What a
know
bloody
where
liar.
he's going to go.
Now, hopefully you're not telling fibs because I really want to see Kyosei on that Ahri. And to get there, we've got to go to Champ Select, so jump on into match number 2 of the day.
Beauty. Well, let's get on with things, shall we? Already one upset on the cards, and maybe a second one is being conjured up as we speak right now. Direwolves on the left-hand side. Going to go for the first pick. Going to see what they can try and do here to try and open up their accounts. And I would be curious to see if there were going to be anything too weird in the mid lane, because I have seen Tally talking a lot about a Veigar too.
Yeah, Veigar actually is a mid laner that's pretty good right now, if I'm going to be honest. I don't know how it fits into competitive currently, but Veigar is in a good spot. So we'll see where this draft pans out. I think it depends on what Kyosei chooses to go towards, because you can't really blind Viego on any planet. You just cop a Z in the face and want to quit. But nevertheless, it's an option, it's an angle. Dials with their first pick here have got Caitlyn ready and available.
They've also, the Chiefs have banned away Yuumi. That's the first ban, if I'm not mistaken, on
And
Yuumi.
Zeri.
So they must be terrified of this Yuumi-Zeri combo, which Direwolves going to snap at.
I would ban, like if I was to ban one of the two, it would be the Yuumi personally. but I still think Zeri's good. So Zeri has angles with like the Leona, right? Or something that like can just be a standard support with it. Lulu, you've got enchanters regardless. The reason Yumi's so gross is because Zeri's super mobile and can be jumping around walls doing a bunch of stuff where Yumi can follow. So this is interesting, Skimmy. We've just neglected Caitlyn.
Yes.
How does she just slip through? Caitlyn, I think, was one of the 2 100% pick ban champions.
Yeah, it was for a while, wasn't it? Even globally. Literally everybody was playing it because it was a bit too free.
91% banned, 9% picked. I think both picks were Peace, and they both times it's got like a 29 KDA because it's just Cheon going off. So this is odd that it's just managed to be thrown out like this.
We've yet to see Caitlyn actually played here by Raze on the side of Chiefs. He's only had one game of the Jinx, but
yeah,
he doesn't want to play Caitlyn.
Which, thinking about it, right, Caitlyn did see some nerfs on 12.3. It was a bit of AD growth and base attack damage down, but it's more scaling stuff. Level 1, she's still quite good, and it did mean that because of the change to her Q damage against secondary enemies, you want to put an extra point in Q before W maxing. I didn't think that would be a game changer. But maybe that's what Chiefs Direwolves are veering into here.
Yeah, they've run the numbers and they say that's not what we're after. You see the hover of the Veigar from the side of Direwolves taunting him as Kiyose has got the RE for the second game on this brand new patch. What would the Chiefs answer back with? Because I tell you what, if they go for an Enchanter, you'd be really scratching your head thinking, why would it not just be the Caitlyn? We saw Peace have so much success with that bot lane pairing. Cycling through the options, and it will be the Veigar, so it wasn't a bluff after all.
No, I don't think it was ever going to be a bluff. I just wasn't sure if we would actually see it with supreme confidence. But here we are. Chiefs are going to lock that Veigar in. They see their matchup, which is one of the big things for this. And then you can start banning away junglers that could be an issue for you here. So Jarvan is a good one. And then even like a Viego, right? You just get rid of the Viego, something like that. Don't give him the opportunity to put the cages down. I'm sure Gudo would like that one. Lee Sin, you're a bit more comfortable with. If he hits a Q on you, you've got a cage for safety. So I'd like to see that from the Chiefs, probably above all else. And just looking at the first 3 picks of their draft right now, Skimmy, it's insane. Right, they have a long-range Jinx, they have an impossibly tanky Xin who, when the ultimate's up right, can't be hit. And then a Veigar who perfectly sits in the middle of those ranges. So you could round this composition out with an Enchanter support if you wanted to. You could go for an Engage support, still like a Nautilus, and just play for the resets onto a Lulu lane. And then Topian gets free reign to do as he would please. You know, flanking top lane is Nah, probably is still really good right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what Topian would go for right now, because you've certainly got a bit of a mix of all types of damage, range, and necessity to what your team could emphasize towards. Double bruises removed, as you said, Lee Sin as well. Could have been a consideration, but has not. I'm just very curious about this mid lane matchup right now, what it really means. Given the aggression that we just saw come out there from the last game in Changi, whether or not the Veigar is going to be that soft counter to try and make Kyose's life a little bit harder. Enchanters, whilst it could have been a consideration, we see it as a very common pairing. It's more so looking like Drag who just wants to be the engage.
Yeah, Blind Lulu, I personally consider sinning. Because I feel like if you go Blind Lulu and Nautilus is available, you're just losing. It basically forces Prio to the hands of the Chiefs.
Hang on a minute. Okay, so
here
hang
we
on a
go.
minute.
Here we go.
Let's start it back to last week when Janna bans were coming out. Zoranes was saying, it's possible. I've been spamming it in solo queue. Every time the Janna got banned away, he was cracking up in the can, but it's not been taken away today.
You forgot about us. That's what
and he said, it's free. We'll lock it in the Smite Janna top.
But it is still blind. So the funny thing here is Topian could have seen that and just like, if he wanted to, just straight up locked in a Kayle or something, you know, and just been like, I dare you to leave lane. I'm building Cull, see what happens. Jay's still a Cull builder, so definitely can still play for some pretty hard scaling up in top. Also takes turrets exceptionally fast, right, with your W. And a lot of base damage comes out of the Champions kit. So Topian's going to be playing into this Janna. His goal is just to get himself as fed as possible and then help the team when appropriate. And you know that there's going to be times to help the team. So the challenge here is you're playing Janna into one of the best top laners when it comes to minion control, when it comes to wave control, and when it comes to building and crashing waves by not getting involved in that gameplay. And you have said, meet me in the middle, let's brawl. Mechanically, I'm a good player. Zoranus is rank 4 in solo queue right now. Like, we know that he's individually a very good player. This is a different breed of gameplay. It is not carry-oriented at all.
Certainly isn't, and it was only really a matter of time that it would catch on here down under and showcase itself in the LCO. Zoranus going to showcase what it can do in this game here. Also, quietly, worth noting, that Volleybear's here as well for Goodo. So they definitely aren't shy of any form of engage, the roaming potential to really allow Jana to assist everybody. Double shields for the Zeri. Frost is going to absolutely love that one. He's been crucial so far, looking at some of the stats in terms of kill participation and damage overall. So definitely given the resources to allow him to pop off. But look at the side of Chiefs. I mean, are we happy with what they've drafted to try and prevent this being one of those crazy upsets again?
I mean, I'm happy with what the Chiefs have drafted, full stop, right? Their comp's just really good. But the inclusion of the Jace into the Janna is the real spanner into the mix. I think the bot lane is winning 2v2. I think the mid's a defusal lane that has a decently strong 2v2 when you include the Xin Zhao into the mix. But Goodo, because it's not going to be a 2v2 skimmy, it's hard to say that for certain. And bot lane, because it's not a 2v2, because there's a Janna, it's not as simple as saying it's just winning. So there's a lot on the line here. As a comp, however, the Chiefs, I like what they've got. They've got great turret taking, they've got good scaling, good damage mix as well. Their team fighting is solid. You can't complain. You can only complain about what your opponents pick.
Yeah, and it's going to be all eyes, no doubt, going to be going towards the top of the map to see how this Jana is navigated. We have seen a few times it's been played overseas, and it will fall down a fair bit in terms of the experience, but you're banking really on what? Either getting your 2 carries extremely fed, or falling behind and relying on those objective bounties just to flip the game. Flip the biggest burger to get yourself back into things. Well, it's day one, really, isn't it? It's a Super Week. It's the first of all things. I'm getting myself all muddled up because it's a Valentine's special. It feels like the players themselves are swooning over this brand new patch of all the possibilities of what they could play, what they could do, and just what it could represent as we close out the final round robin. Let's bring Chiefs Kuden from the side of the coaching department back onto the stream to talk about this one, because there's obviously a lot to break down. But before that, I have to say, new patch, new house. You know, what can we expect now from the Chiefs this week?
We can expect us to not drop a single game for the rest of the year. It's one of the biggest houses I've ever seen in my life. After a long, hard day of work, we head to the tennis courts. That's how it is.
I'm glad you said that. I was going to say, you know, what does it look like after you finish all the scrims? A good day, no doubt. Well, let's quickly touch on this draft, because obviously there's a lot of spice in it. But what stands out to you from the side of Direwolves?
Chant the top, I guess. Zoranus Classic?
Are we surprised at all?
No, not at all, but scared. Respect. Gotta put some respect on it. His Enchanter's top. If there's someone that's gonna abuse Enchanter's top, it's gotta be him, right?
Yeah, for sure. Right, Kuden, well, I wish you guys the best of luck. House looks fantastic, so hopefully the boys can have a great week as well.
Yeah, as well.
Double Enchanters, eh? What a team.
Yeah, look, he's right. If any team was going to do it, it would be Zoranus, it would be Direwolves. I feel like we all acknowledge that this is possible. You've got a lot of cheese that's going to be happening around the map right now. So we'll see if it's going to be a masterclass or if it's just an masterclass, I guess, from the Janna. Zoranus, they take the blue side jungle. They're now going to keep the Janna bottom to throw a tornado at them, see what's going on, say hello. Zoranus is doing the exact same thing mid. He is still showing. And the thing is, like, a lot of the time, when you play this, you're going to full clear the enemy blue side jungle. You're going to threaten Tally in mid. You can see how aggressive the Kyose is playing. The idea is you bring Kyose into the enemy jungle as well, right?
Really
want to actually stop them from having a free time clearing jungle camps, and now 3 people sitting mid. Oh my god.
Hang on a minute, Goodo. He's level 3. What on earth is that? He's just dead to the turret. That's the first blood as easy as you like it. Arthur picks that one up for free and says that's not how it's meant to go. The script is really deviating away.
So a couple of things that have happened so far just to catch us up to this turret dive. Arthur takes away the wolf camp and moves to his red side jungle. Direwolves don't respond by crossing mid to the red side jungle. They actually just stay around, right? They clear their own Raptor camp, and then they just hover mid and die. Frosts. Good damage.
Yeah, really good damage right now. Glacial Orgum coming in a little bit clutch there as Raze is also feeling the pain and the punishment of this roaming Giant, but also just, yeah, the laning dominance.
Yeah, that's it. Now Zoranus is just going to come back bottom, throw a tornado. The threat of a dive, I suppose, does exist, but it's a Lulu. More about the damage, the harass, the presence of a third person.
Bulldog flashing forward. Drops turret aggro. Oh no, Zeri's locked in place. Frost! Ignite?
There's just no way that their carry dies in that situation. Teleports are going to be used bottom as well. This is messy.
Oh no, Bulldog, you're in so much trouble. Where do you juke to? There is nowhere to go to. Farm a minion or just get farmed. Tally picks it up, and you can't TP to a minion, but you can definitely go to a turret and pick up a free kill.
Zoranus is just going to play zone D right now. Kyosei can push mid out. It's going to crash, and they want to stop Tally from getting to the turret. You can see what, like, again, we're going to talk about what Jan is doing a lot because it's important at how it influences the map and how Chiefs respond to all of these plays. If they're successful, then people start to fall behind on the Chiefs side. It can be really frustrating because Jan is just a pest. We haven't spoken about top once, and that's fine. We'll get to it. Right now, Jan is trying to win the game while she can. And it's not working because the Chiefs just answer. Like, the dive mid was terrible.
Yeah, and it's going to go from bad to worse right here. 2 kills picked up as cleanly as you like. A level advantage is really coming in clutch right now. A third is there. And, well, you sound deflated, and for good reason too. 5 minutes in, and it's already a 3k gold lead.
Yeah, right. So the dive mid was bad. The attempt bottom was good, but Zeri was taking aggro about 1 turret shot too soon. And so it ends up being the carry that dies. This fight is just not winning. Raze gets into the mix, and there's a significant advantage here. Zeri's not to be seen because she's clearing waves. And so every time the Dials have attempted to make the play, Arthur's had a hard read on the situation. He's maybe down in numbers at the punch, but there's turrets involved, and here they go again.
They're not done yet, are they? Nope, certainly going to go in, run it back time and time again. The Drake is held in suspension, but they have taken out Arthur, so there's no smite contest for Chiefs. The first Dragon could go the way of the Direwolves, which it does. But the kills, can Chiefs find more with those kills? Draco has the mana, but he's got a red buff in Frost. No level 6, but it doesn't matter. He is able to do whatever he likes. He's picked up 2 shutdowns, and he's picked up all the kills.
Yeah, I mean, that's big, right? Like, all of the mistakes that they have made so far just bounce back a little bit for the Direwolves, and that was really important. I think if that fight goes awry, the game just ends. And Chiefs, the question remains on why do the Dragon, you know? You have a top laner that is winning top, forcing the objective and forcing the timing on this objective, taking the 5v5 this early against 2 enchanters. Is it worth it? Is always the question. Frost gets here on time this time around. Gonna go straight into the mix. They know that there's no flash from the Xin Zhao. He's stuck in the pit. They kill him. That's good from Direwolves. It's unnecessary from the Chiefs. However, it was still 2 kills to go the way of Tally. It's still a 3-1 Veigar mid, and Kyosei got nothing from it.
Numbers advantage certainly working in their favor right now. His weapon and Sapoon has gone for the demolish and is finally taking down the first turret of the game. So working his way to make sure that this will be an area of avenue for them to attack, for them to invest in, and for when he finally does decide to group up with the rest of the team, feel that any kind of objective comeback mechanic of a bounty is null and void. 3 levels up so far over this Giant. Going for the Swifties.
Yeah, it really makes no difference what boots he has at this point, right? He's just going to run around the map and do his thing. If this is anyone's first time ever seeing a Janna smite top lane, the premise is simple. You tilt the enemy team by constantly being there and giving numbers advantages. You sack top. Top's not real. Top is a fake place. Zoranus is currently sinning because he finally decided to get some experience. But if you win on the other areas of the map, and this is why it's so good in solo queue, you can actually make those plays, right? There's not going to be a Veigar teleport bottom. Things like that aren't as coordinated, where a team like the Chiefs will punish you. In competitive, it still can work, but it requires either really good map play and timing on your end or mistakes from your opponents, and as you can tell...
That's a mistake.
The shoe is on the other foot. Skimmy.
Oh no, Gooder could be in trouble as well. He's got the Predator active, but he's running. I said Predator. It's obviously Tally on the hunt for him. Not going to be the case just yet. One by one, they're walking on through. They really want to control this river. That's where they excel at. That's where they can dish out all the protection on towards this Zeri. Another flash forward. Deja vu across the wall. Lightning crashes there. Zeri going for the shutdown. Finds another one. 3 shutdowns, a triple, now a double. Now 6 1-on-1. 100% kill participation on Frost.
It's actually like, this is legit just a Zeri diff. If they have any shot at winning this game, Toppin's charm.
Oh no, Tapu now with a numbers advantage against him. 1v3, the rocket goes out, does not connect. He actually gets a kill, Kyose's dead! Now he is buying time. And will fall down as well. But I tell you what, 10 minutes in, and this has everything.
Including a Janna top. The thing, Kyosei is 0-4-2 on this Ahri and he is suffering. That is a major concern. Janna is relevant with 9 CS, Ahri is not as relevant. And this may actually just be an Everfrost game to still have some kind of impact because he's struggling. Tally is huge in contrast. This Zeri is 6-1 with 2 supports to protect it. And I do think that that's Kyosei's job now. He is a 3rd support. If they manage to get a team fight where Zeri doesn't get 1 popped by the damage that comes out of the Chiefs, and that is very possible, then they can win the game. Because their Zeri is 6-1, Skibby.
Yeah. So far ahead right now as we bring up the total goal graph. Already has the completed Trinity Force. The boots are there as well. A very, very early Mythic item completion, might I add. Question now goes to what deviation does he go forward with now? Still seeing a lot of people deciding whether or not Runar's Hurricane is the play or not. Who knows? Lightning Crash is there with double support. You aren't afraid to take any trade. You aren't afraid to dive turrets.
All right, they're making a trade. So Dials are going to continue to try and dive bottom. I think this is fair. They've got the numbers for it. They also have a Volley Bear ultimate that can stop the turret from being aggroed. And instead of just waiting for the wave, they'll lose half their health because they can. Meanwhile, mid Herald's going to be summoned. Kyosei loses half his health to a Jace Gate Shock Blast, and it's gone. So they're just winning. Chiefs now transition towards bot side, towards the Dragon. Frost is still half health. He didn't reset because they're behind on the tempo. Choosing to take this fight, Jace will literally Topu and Gate Shock Blast. The game ends right now. Recall, you lose. Like, surely not.
Are they really willing to invite this level of pain and pressure? Kyosei has no flash, but postured like he wants to try and contest this one. The Zap is a nice idea. Never going to beat out a Smite though, as Arthur continues to lead the line for this aggression.
One other big thing about the Janna compositions is you have to be really hard to actually predict, right? You have to actually be really hard to know what's going on. And if you watch this game back, a lot of the first 3 minutes was just on vision. So I think either Chiefs are just aware of how this plays, or they're aware of how Zoranus plays this. Draku's copping it.
Frost is looking for it. Johnny isn't afraid. Would not be surprised if they went for the dive. No, deciding against it again. Gooder not willing to burn the ult. Nice dash away there from Kyosei. Otherwise, would have just been one shot in mid. How can Frost look to answer back and say, all the gold is in my hands? That turret should be our first of the game. And where to from here?
This will be a good turret to break. I mean, ultimately, I think you put the Zeri and the Lulu mid now. Probably your point of contention. You leave Ahri to the Wolves on the weak side. Topu's just going to casually take a second turret here as well. It's another 600 gold. How do you like into the pockets of him? Can we just bring up the gold difference as well? Because I just want to compare the Jace to the Janna at this moment. It's a full item. That is a full mythic of difference, right? Between both top laners. The reason that Janna can work is because with less gold and cheaper items as well, Janna can still be relevant. But there is still a point of critical mass skimming. And I think at the completion of the Muramana, it doesn't matter how much of a Janna player you are, right? You are just going to die to the Gate Shock Blast.
Sure.
Worth considering. And if the game becomes a conversation of can Zeri survive, she has 2 shielding champions versus Poke. It's not as simple as healing it up. So just a couple of things to consider there.
As you say, worth noting that given how close Zeri and Jace are, you are really hoping that was the investment in making sure Frost popping off would be enough of a winning flavor for them to outdo what is the pressure that Jace is able to put on this map right now. Because really, for Tapoon, it's business as usual. This has been the playbook for Split 1 so far for the Chiefs. Either Alpha comes topside, they drop a Herald, they take 2 turrets, or he says, you know what, I'll do it all on my own. They're grouped up as a 3-man, and at the 14-minute mark, they have found their 5th turret in this game.
Yeah, they're just sailing ahead. The Direwolves are going to trade on the other side here. Zoranus is just hanging out with Bulldog and Frost. They will break an outer, but the inner turrets after the 14-minute mark are going to be worth more as well. And the map is open, right? These side lanes are so open that if you are Direwolves and you're defending this mid lane inner turret, look at the angles that exist for flanks. You know, look at the possibilities that exist for you to get caught walking to those safe spaces. Be a lot harder to do than you would think, especially when fights start to happen around the Drake.
A good toggle as well, actually. Thank you, observers. Look at the difference in the vision. All the control wards placed by Chiefs down the bot side, which is where Gudo and Co are clearing out right now. As for Direwolves, they planted all their vision at top side of their own jungle, leading into Baron. So, big differences in how they want to play the map so far. And whilst there have been 19 kills shared between them, we are starting to get a little bit concerned as to, first of all, how can you bring Kyosei back into this game?
Yeah. I mean, that is the biggest concern. Like, above all else, there's still no mythic for Kyosei.
And they find Tapoon though, he's forced to flash away. He gets charmed even though he went into the Raptor camp. That's devastating. A few flashes were burnt on that occasion, so maybe just one in the end from Kyosei alone. Gudo burns the ultimate, but
Yeah.
that means that mid turret is gone for free.
That's it, right? And Direwolves are going to probably rinse and repeat this strategy till the game ends, for better or worse. They are just going to be a bunch of supports protecting Azeri. That's the entire game, rests on Frost's shoulders. Kyosei, I mean, it's a good pick. That's what he's going to be a part of, right? He's in the pick patrol with the Volibear. Still doesn't have a mythic.
I do wonder though, much like we had the argument last game about, you know, Ludens or Everfrost, whether or not, given the current state of how he is so far behind, he just says, I will be that second support. Yes, I can't shield you, but I can, you know, serve you all these kills in the silver platter. Frost, all you need to do is right click.
Yeah, I do think that honestly he just concedes the L, right? And goes for Everfrost. And just says, save me, Frost. I think that is probably the most viable strategy for him overall. Question I think past that is, what does he go second? Like, maybe it's just the Zonias, and again, you just admit defeat, you don't do any damage all game. You're just there to survive for longer. Top mid was very extended in mid as well, where he did get caught there.
Yeah.
One of those things that, like, you can see Direwolves placing and staunching for vision control on their own red side quadrant. It's not one of the places that you should get caught. Predator used.
Predator has been used, locked in the charm. There is the Everfrost. There's the answer back. The ultimate goes out.
Ooh, Raze.
As Everfrost is there, Raze has covered a fair bit of damage right now, but it's Monsoon to knock them all away, and another cage goes down to prevent them from chasing any further. Nobody has died just yet. And the Drake was just picked up, so there's no real need to fight apart from defending this mid-tier 1.
Yeah, they're actually pretty lucky they didn't lose anyone's lives there. Zeri's ultimate drops off. Arthur is hunting. The tornado was sick.
He's so keen to go in. He hits the flash. The Crescent Guard is there. And Serenus just managed to get away. One shock blast on the gate, and Bulldog is, well, he's in a world of pain.
And Chiefs just continue this, right? They've got the health
check.
advantage now.
Kyosei?
Kyosei has to
Go for the
ult.
charm. The hook goes away. The charm across into blue buff can't be found. Rough times.
Yeah, there's a greedy recall position, more punished by the Chiefs. Baron? No, it's Herald, 1730, and it's hard to know sometimes.
It feels like
Herald's
a
on
Baron.
the cards. It does feel like Baron's being secured at this point. Frost lost the lightning crash in that last fight as well. That was probably the biggest thing, right?
Sure.
If you managed to keep the ultimate up, maybe you found an angle to dash over a wall and make plays. Nautilus dies. The movement speed, the stacking that comes from Azeri is disgusting, and he has the comp to enable him to do that. So that last skirmish was a stone's throw away from being really rough for Chiefs, losing more than one person, carries included in that mix. They'll just make their way through, and I think it was just another cycling of a Veigar cage that did the most.
I get a secure with the smite. that bottom scuttle for the vision that they so desperately need around this crab to deter Chiefs picking up that soul. Worth noting, Tapoon is up 4 levels right now. Usually you'd see the levels advantages then be distributed elsewhere for the side of Direwolves, but as it stands, you are seeing Raze and Frost go toe-to-toe. I guess really to find that advantage instead in the early Mythic, in the kills. But much to your point from that last team fight, the Lightning Crash has to be there because it is devastating at full effect.
Now the turret drops the way of the Chiefs. That now puts them 6,000 gold ahead. Top been able to have a pretty easy influence on the map so far. He groups up with the team. First strike would have made him some pretty sizable money once he joined at 1 Mythic as well. And just on that point, I'm certain that that second Resolve Tree probably has Demolish in it, and that probably broke the turret fast as well.
Yeah, I saw it go off.
Did he have a cull?
Good question. I did miss that. I'm sure somebody in chat can remind us. As it stands right now, I am looking at that Miramana being very soon completed and the 2-item spy of your dreams. Serpent's Fang, no doubt, soon to be considered as well. And you say, nice shields. Where are they?
Pretty much, honestly. There's not much more to say about it. At this stage, the second item done for Raze as well, pretty difficult to get on top of the AD. It comes down to when both teams meet in the middle, who dies first, right? Is it the tank front line of the Chiefs, or is it going to be, I guess, the Volley Bear, right? Or is there going to be a flank involved? If someone dies first on the Direwolves side, Jinx has the resets, he's unstoppable. If Zeri gets to charge up because they're getting those kills first, it's a different game. 2 items done as well. Working on the third. A lot of damage comes out of Frost.
Thank you to Objuices. I did mention that Jace did not start with a Colt, he's just that fed. Herald goes down nice and early as Chiefs at the 20-minute mark are knocking on the front door to open up the base here for Direwolves and abuse the lead that they find themselves in. Yes, you got the Jana. Yes, you got the Lulu. The Zeri is strong, but doesn't want anybody a spot like this.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, free reset going to come out from the Chiefs here as well. You've got Baron on the cards. You've got a Dragon in 50 seconds. Skimmy, I don't think that there's any need to rush. The Chiefs get to just set up as they would like. Direwolves are the ones that might be feeling a little bit more pressured. If they choose to go to the Drake, they're going to go through mid, which is the safest point of access, but it leaves them open to teleport flanks, and it also means they're walking into the vision of the Chiefs, which means they're walking into a Jace. It's tough to do.
Death Bush, which is going to be soaked up here by Gudo. Not going to flinch. Just going to utilize that chem tank and say, I will have my moment to shine. I will collapse. My flash is ready, and you saw what I did at level 3. Be scared. 3 items complete also for Frost. We've said it all game long. He is huge. A big weight on his shoulder to perform in this next team fight, though. As it's a bit of a dance to get yourself in the river for this 4th Drake of the game.
Well, it's a dance that Topoon just wins, right? Like, the longer this goes on with
oh no. Frost has gone for the all-in. Will he get punished for one? Wildgrove goes out nice and early. Tapoon gets the kill on towards Gudo. He gets a double kill. He is huge. He wins it with the poke. He wins it with the hard engage. He wins it all, Rusty.
Yeah, it's just a free Dragon. Direwolves, they force the fight after their AD just cops a hook. So well played by Dragku, right? Sits in the bush, uses his vision, finds the hook to throw. Direwolves now going to flip the map up towards the Baron side. Seems like they wanted to fight, but if you don't know how to engage, you're just going to lose to the Jace poke, and that's really what this game is boiled down to.
And surely Direwolves can't go for this one now, right? Frost making that play, trying to be aggressive, getting frustrated with the poke that's coming out there. Double flash, Wildgrowth had to be committed too. They have no take-back tools. They have to watch both these objectives just go down and maybe pick up some scraps, but those empowered recalls, far too easy for the security of getting home.
And it's hard to find an angle now for the Direwolf, I think, at this point, right? Baron buff secured. 3rd Drake of the game, soul point for Chiefs. They're going to take one wave of priority to push mid here. But even this mid push, there's a chance that you get engaged on. Like, that's gross.
Well, Ghost has been locked in place here. It's not been a fun time for him in this game. Goodo falling on down as well between the mid and duo. They are just exploding as Raze does just that with the namesake of getting a shutdown and removing Frost, saying, I am the perfect player. I'll let you have that Zeri. Watch me put in work as this Jinx.
Zoranus about to cop it.
Dead.
And he copped it. Topoon maybe even considers tanking for these 3 minions, but either way he's got demolished, so they're actually just going to push in here. And what more do you say, Skimmy? It's a pretty casual game of League in the end for the Chiefs. They got a lead early, they capitalized on that lead. They've got plenty of time on the clock here to work with. Jace hits one EQ combo and Bulldog no longer exists. Wouldn't be surprised if they go for the end.
Respawn times are still quite short though, only 24 minutes in. Chiefs are looking to wrap this one up and put a bomb on it. It is Valentine's Day, they've got places to be, things to do, and games to win. On towards the Nexus, exposed as it is. Goodo going straight back to that grey screen, down to 34 seconds. As Tally gets charmed, but not charmed into Fountain. He's still flirting with the danger. He is not lost, but he's in an arc way back into this game to make sure that he has the biggest bounty of them all. Chiefs playing with the food, playing with their time, but the GG comes out. And Chiefs are loving it.
It was a good showing from the Chiefs, right? They're not going to get cheese today. No Janna tops are going to stop them from getting the dubs that they deserve. Solid, clean map play. Arthur actually is probably the quiet achiever from this game. It's easy to look at Topoon's damage for the last 20 minutes. You know, it's easy to look at the whole team as a whole and say it was solid, but when you've got the unpredictability of a Janna working with the volley bear, you need to be there at the right moments. And anytime they tried to make a play, Arthur was there. So that's why, you know, he's my quiet achiever in this one.
Sure. And I suppose, Mac, really, I mean, it's everything I envision when I think of Direwolves, right? They are going to play these wild drafts. They've done it again, and that's why I enjoy watching this team, because you never quite know what you're going to get. Sometimes it's chaotic. Sometimes they forget that they're only level 2 and they're diving turrets. But you know what? It gets it gets them excited.
Look, I was even excited. That just looking at that champ select, just looking at the draft that they came up with, I was like, okay, I've heard good things about everything that Direwolves are picking right now. And then, unfortunately for Direwolves, things just did not go their way at all. Was this 5 minutes in, and Zoranus was still level 2. That was a little rough. He had a pretty tough start. So talk to me about this Janna pick and where it sits in the comp, and how Chiefs counterpicked it. Did they counterpick it or did they counterplay it, Rusty? Like, did they just decide to pick the champs and go, you know what, we're just going to push lanes, smash it, have some crazy demolish damage over in that top lane as well?
They didn't really counter-pick it, they just played demolish Jace, right? So something that takes the turret fast. So it's just a way of punishing. It's essentially a transaction, if that makes sense, Mac.
Yeah, okay.
And you have to look at what the Janna does on the rest of the map. And if every time he tries to make a play, he's losing, and Topoon is pushing, it's just winning for the Chiefs. So in reality, Topoon did his job.
Yep.
But the rest of the Chiefs won the game as a result of having the measure of Zoranus and fairly easily handling this Janna, because he's adding an extra man to his team. So every skirmish should be good for them, right? Kind of how it works.
Yeah, okay. Now, thank you for that, Rusty. I was having a roller coaster of emotions watching this game in Twitch chat as well. I was like, oh, why did I put Twitch points on this? And then straight as soon as I said that, all of a sudden there's that like 5-for-1 or like 4-for-1 trade over in the Dragon Pit, and I was like, oh, it's all right. Look, we're back, Direwolves, let's go. And I was really hoping for that double upset, but alas, it didn't happen. So maybe I'll stop spinning the narratives and we'll just look at the stats, look at the good teams, and give them the respect they deserve. All right, Mac will shut up now. What do you reckon?
Okay, yeah, absolutely, mate. No, I enjoy it when you go for the underdogs, right? Because it definitely gives us something to cheer on when you get it right. Because then you make yourself look like, you know, the challenger expert that was just, you know, hiding the script away. You don't want to be too big-headed. You're humble, mate.
I thought you were going to say, I enjoy when Mac shuts up, but then you went with a different way. So it's all right.
I wouldn't do you dirty like that on the cast, mate.
Thank you, brother. Now, of course, we have Kitty to bring back into the conversation. Kitty, tell me about that game and tell me who you have for the winner's interview.
Hey guys, I wasn't shocked at the Janna top. I was surprised that they actually won a couple team fights at Dragon. Surprised Chiefs didn't just call off those Dragon fights. But I did bring Tally from the sidelines for this interview. Hi Tally, how's the new house?
I mean, the house is like fantastic. It's definitely the best gaming house I've been in. Like, it's just huge, and like the gaming room, like the setup is really nice, and it's nice having fast internet again.
I didn't know Brisbane had fast internet. But with that being said, we saw that dive from Volibear in that mid lane. What were your thoughts during that mid lane dive?
I mean, it was just like standard. Like I took a bad trade and like a wave was building into me, so like I just asked Miru to come hover and like I feel like they just trolled. Whenever they flashed in, like it's so easy to react to like a volley Q. Like so, I don't know. I think they would like that was just a bad dive for them to take. I feel like they should have just left at the point.
And we saw obvious preparation for the Janna top. You guys had vision set up for almost every single gank and almost every single skirmish with the jungle pathing. What are your thoughts on Janna top?
I mean, we were obviously like ready for it. Like I think we've all seen enough of Zorinus and Solo Q, and like when he locked it in, like I wasn't too shocked that like wow, like this is something new. I just think that like allowing a champ like Jace to just like free farm 5 plates and like give him a mythic like so early in the game is just like extremely hard for the enemy to play. Like his poke is just doing like 80% of the squishy cell, and like I feel like that's way hard to play against than like a smite support roaming around early game.
Do you like getting smite Janna top in your games?
I absolutely hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Well, something you don't hate is Valentine's. Do you have any plans for tonight?
Well, I mean, I guess I'm probably gonna be playing some double up with my girlfriend, you know, just the classic, you know, date, just a fun
Ooh.
night.
Sounds great. Well, hopefully you have an amazing night, and congrats on you and Tally.
Thank you very much.
So cute. Beautiful dates in the Rift. You gotta love them. Now, he was pretty happy, but also a little angry that Janna made its way into LCO. And, you know, big statement made by Chiefs at least to put their foot down and say, you know what, we're not going to be losing to this draft, Sunny Jim. So, doing a really good job and getting it across the line. So, with that win, they are now tied up with peace again. So, congrats to Chiefs for not losing today and doing a very good job to now be back in tied first position. I think that's a very good place where anyone wants to be, Rusty.
Yeah, I'm not sure they expected Peace to lose game 1 back, but alas, here we are. Expect the unexpected in the LCO is probably the new slogan that we could make for the league, if I'm going to be honest with you.
It's good. It's a good place to be, you know. Now, we do also have a good bit of content, and it's the player of the game. It was the man on your screen for the interview. It was the big man, Tally, because he did a big job there in mid, and he didn't go down, had good team comms to have Arthur just hovering and able to go for the old counter ganks, and doing a very good job. So 31% kill participation, didn't really float around the map as much or get involved as we have seen in the previous weeks. So all things considered, stats not looking too great, but a win's a win regardless, right, Skimmy?
Yeah, it is, right? You know, a lot of pressure goes in the mid lane. He's going to be feeling very happy that they went for the flash dive, and, you know, no doubt feeling, well, that could have definitely gone another way against Min. Could have snowballed against us as a whole, but then the TP down bot to pick up the pieces. The cages being circled out literally on cooldown through a lot of that mid game when they're just grouped up as 5 for the Chiefs. Like, it really set the pace for you shall not go any further. Ultimately, Frost got a little bit angsty, says I need to do something, jumps in, and then, yeah, they lose the whole bunch. So, yeah, well played for Tally.
Well, look, it's a dangerous day to be a Direwolf supporter, and it's a dangerous day to be a damn burrito or a burrito bowl, because with Menulog right now, you can get yourself $9.90 burritos and burrito bowls.
Yes!
And I believe if you sign up right now, you can also, if you haven't already got an account, get over $15 or something like that. Now, we also not only love Menulog and not only love burritos, but we love Menu Pog, so exclamation Menu Pog in chat, and you can take that link and go get yourself a beautiful burrito. I know I'm a big fan of burritos from Guzman and Gomez, and you too can get yourself a little bit of Valentine's Day guzzi, so I'm sure you're excited about that. And I'm also excited to see Mammoth and Order go head-to-head, which of course is going to be coming up not too far away just after this break. So don't go too far, order that guzzi, and we'll see you after this.
And it's not working because the Chiefs and like the dive mid is terrible.
Yeah, and it's going to go from bad to worse right here. 2 kills picked up as cleanly as you like. The level advantage is really coming in clutch right now. A third is there. And